Welcome back. My name is Earl with Victory Leadership, and this is our 10-part series and looking at the Robert Greenleaf's servant leadership model. And we are now at the sixth step. And the sixth step, we are actually looking at conceptualization. And conceptualization is essentially the ability to dream and communicate that dream to others. So it gets them excited. And as I mentioned earlier, that when people are excited, their creative thought process and logical thought is then heightened above that of their fear factor, or their fight or flight tendencies. So how this is done, or one of the methods of moving forward with conceptualizing, is that we essentially look at developing a promising long-term future and create short-term projects to reach it. Now, this does draw on Cotter's 8-step of change. If it sounds familiar to you, we want to reward the intermediate steps that are contributing to that change to build and gain and maintain momentum as we move forward. Through that, people will maintain a certain level of excitement and hopefulness. So this is beneficial to helping people that may not quite understand or can't see it from the perspective of those who have this conception. As leaders, the message is uniform. You want to create a uniform message, and if you have an environment that includes the employees in a part of the conceptualization process, then by all means implement that by choosing your change champions, your different champions to promote this concept, and then communicate that out to the people. So you have that you have a centralized and a distributed communication method. So not only are people in the organization receiving this message from the leadership core, but it's also permeating out through different levels across the organization. So having that change champions, and also in Cotter's book, the Accelerate, he mentions about a dual operating system. And this, again, goes into choosing people from various levels across the organization that are good representation of the environment, the environment within the organization that they come from, to get a heartbeat, to get the pulse of how people in the organization are reacting to these different concepts. And that information then has a method of going back into leadership where these elements can be taken under consideration and determined if and how they will become a part of the entire change process. Now, by creating this level of excitement, then of course people are more likely to promote it and want to move forward and support it. And this is how you can create a stability and long-term effect that one change process then can lead to another that promotes a successful chain of events. Some organizations may add a component or department or feature set to their organization. One example among many is Amazon. Amazon not only just sells stuff. They sell all types of stuff, and they also have Amazon Web Services and S3 and virtual machines and all sorts of technology behind the scenes that it seems behind the scenes to the population at large, but there are a lot of elements there to certain people that are aware of them, how that contributes to the success of their organization by providing that level of support. And this broadens the expanse of the organization. So a company that may have started off selling used books can become something that creates a significant change in the environment by those who have a concept of what the organization can do when it puts the proper resources and people in place to make that happen. And you've got your conglomerates that have multiple components or facets, like General Electric, airplane engines, diesel locomotives, home appliances. It goes on and on. And having that concept to go to the next level, to incorporate these different ideas into the organization, when it is rolled out with the thought process that people are going to have the resources necessary to build the success within the organization that they're being asked to participate in, then they feel that process has a greater chance of success, and the concept then enjoys increased support. So how organizations and how the leaders may take those concepts and present them can create that excitement, as I mentioned earlier, where people then just experience this upward spiral of optimism that the organization is not only going in the right direction, but they're a part of something larger than themselves. And that level of stability going forward then helps them to contribute to their own personal hopes, goals, dreams, and so forth going into the future. It just creates a more positive perspective and environment that a lot of organizations find elusive. And this process can contribute to that. And it does build on other processes as we've seen. And at the conclusion, I'll wrap those together. And that can then move the organization into areas that they may not have otherwise been ready or fit to move into, because the underlying foundation necessary that the leaders will create with their employee staff, it just was not there, or it wasn't as firm as needed to move forward to that extent. So having people dream is important. Telling the story is imperative. And when people can then conceive that conceptualization of what can be, becomes a powerful motivator to move people forward. And as we continue to move forward with the servant leadership model, we will look at the next element, which is foresight. Again, we see another process of how one element contributes to another in the servant leadership model. Look for that coming soon.